Welcome to Highly Affected by Her Surroundings, the podcast where we reveal how your environment can make or break your day. Hosted by me, Nicole Rowe, owner and lead designer at Arnixon Interiors. Okay, so today I'm here with my new friend Shaolin, who is located in Hawaii. So
For sure.
I want to give her a moment to introduce herself, kind of say what she does, and then we're going to dive in.
Yeah, so I'm Shaolin. My design firm is Studio Shaolin. We're a full service kind of boutique design firm located in Honolulu, Hawaii. We're on Oahu. We do projects on all the other islands. We typically focus on residential, but we do have commercial projects as well. I started the company at the beginning of 2021, and my background is in event planning, so it just kind of was a huge jump, and I've just been going nonstop ever since then. We had a store, which is now an online store, called Woven by Shaolin, and then I also have a podcast called Begin with Shaolin that really just interviews anybody and everyone that I want to talk to and has nothing to do with design, but it's just a fun project of mine.
Well, the podcast is super fun and it's super cute, but your store has some of the best stuff.
I know.
Retail is hard, but the fact that you can be online, I think, is really, really fun.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was less about retail and it was more about the fact that my team no longer was interested in really working the store. It's hard, right? When you're a design firm, you're kind of always on the go, and we're like installing projects, and then the store would be closed, and then somebody would DM me being like, why is the store closed? And I'm like, oh shoot, like people don't realize that we were an active design firm, and that's kind of what came first, and the store was just an extension of what we did, and like wanting to bring that to Hawaii. But it was just ended up being too much to try to run a design firm within a retail space. Chaotic. So now we're keeping it all online though, because I think our diehard fans who really love what we do and love our decor can now access it online. And we're always going to be buying stuff for projects and having leftover stuff. So it just makes sense to continue it.
I think retail storefronts are so many designers' dreams, but it all comes back to that. We're not just sitting there, and to have a dedicated retail person selling accessories and the other items is
Right.
the commitment.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, it was never my dream to have a retail store. It kind of was just an extension of what was happening at the time. We were also filming a pilot episode with Magnolia Network. And so I thought, okay, if we get this season, it makes sense to have a store because everything we put in the episodes will be available to buy in the store. So it felt like a natural extension of the business. But when that didn't get picked up, it was just kind of like, okay, like we love our store and so many people loved it, but it just didn't make sense for us anymore as a company.
I think it's really cool, and maybe it doesn't get picked up now, but I think it definitely could be something in the future.
I hope so. I mean, it's so funny because when we were filming it, it's so much work to film a pilot episode. Like we shot, I think it was 15 days, and it's 40 minutes. So you shoot so much content, and then to get it cut down into a 40-minute thing was such a good learning lesson for me. I actually learned that I liked being on camera and I felt comfortable on camera. I didn't know that about myself until we shot that episode. So yeah, I mean, I hope that it finds its home somewhere one day. I mean, we're still an active design firm, so that's not going to ever change. If things ever changed and they wanted to bring it back, that would be so fun to do it. I think I'm in a better space now than I was when we were filming it and trying to juggle and do all the things. I think we've streamlined our business so much now that bringing on a show like that would be easier than at the time we were doing it.
You say that you didn't realize you were comfortable on camera, but following your social media, I feel like, your face is on there a lot, and you do talk and you do kind of give tours and information. So you definitely are comfortable on camera.
Yeah, no, it took me, so the first iteration of my business, it wasn't even named Studio Shaolin. It actually took an astrologer telling me, like, you have such a powerful name, you need to put your name in the business. And I was like, oh, I can't do that. Like, my natural introverted self is very behind the scenes, which is why I loved being an event producer. Like, I never, you're very much behind the scenes person. And it took me like a good solid year to 2 years to even be comfortable. Like if you look back at my old post on Studio Shaolin, I think I have one where I'm just like cringing that I'm actually posting a photo of myself on it. Like I just could not handle that. And so I've come such a long way in realizing, like, oh, it's okay. Like, it feels cringe in the moment to make those walkthrough videos or to film a funny reel. But the reality is, like, people are so encouraging and they love it. And so, it's nice because if you do something like that and you're kind of putting yourself out of your comfort zone to get the positive feedback means everything. So that definitely has encouraged me more to just be more free with it.
But I would say being a Hawaiian designer and being located in Hawaii and being someone that really like you live that vibe,
Yeah.
putting your face on there is your branding, that is your marketing. And I think that is, a really big deal. So, how does living in Hawaii really shape your perspective on interior design as a whole? Like, what do you think y'all do differently? I mean, I'm imagining most of your clients are full-time residents, or is it vacation?
So majority of our clients actually are like second homes,
Okay.
second or third homes. We do have it's changing a little bit, like the first few years it was a lot of second home, third home situations where like they'd give us the keys, they'd leave and then come back. Now we're having a lot more people who have moved here from the mainland. During COVID, that was a huge thing where like a lot of people moved here, and I started my business in 2021. So it was a lot of people who are like in California, now they can work remote for Google, and so they're gonna come and live in Hawaii. So there was a lot of that happening. Now it's a mix. I think it's a mix of people who, yeah, still it's their, a vacation home for them, or people who actually are living here. It's fun because I think a lot of our clients have become my friends because if they live here, it's such a small island. Oftentimes we have a lot in common because aesthetically we align. So that's been really fun to kind of have clients become friends, and then continuing to do projects with them is always a joy. But I think in terms of what Hawaii does different than other mainland designers, well, first of all, my background's not in interior design, right? So I kind of always wish that I could work for a traditional interior design firm just to see like how it's supposed to be done, because my education is based on like what I know on how to run an event, which is pretty similar to running a project. My background in construction, because my dad's a general contractor, and somehow through osmosis I've learned so much on how to build. And then really Facebook groups with like other interior designers at the beginning was so huge. Like I would go on there and just like read threads of what people suggested, and like thankfully I started with Studio Designer from the jump, so that was great for scaling our business. Like that has helped, that software has become our bible. And so I think there's just like certain things that we are able to adapt from the mainland, but obviously shipping here is a huge thing. So a lot of vendors we can't work with because they want our freight forwarders in California to check it out, and they won't do that. So it's just different. I've talked to some clients or some designers who work in Nantucket, for example, or somewhere in the Caribbean, and they're on a small island and they kind of deal with the same issues we do in Hawaii here. And then also, I think a lot of our homes, right, we don't have a lot of Victorian era, like pre-war, like we don't have a lot of older homes. Hawaii in general, like a lot of the construction, they were prefab homes, so they're not good quality. They're like single wall construction. So oftentimes we're being brought in to kind of redo the whole home, versus on the mainland there's like this balance between saving, right, what is like original of the home and what's really beautiful, and updating it. A lot of times here we're like almost taking it down to studs and redoing the whole thing. Not a lot of the homes are built really well or in this style, right? We had all these different phases of Hawaii architecture, which was kind of different than what happened on the mainland.
I think that's interesting because also obviously you're in a vacation geared
Yes.
area. Property values are really high.
Yes.
So you're working on smaller footprint homes, and smaller property lines, but throw in, everything else into the mix. It's almost the equivalent of doing a New York City condo or kind of something like that with the challenges.
Yeah, and I also think the budgets, right? It's extremely expensive to renovate here. The labor alone is so high. And I think a lot of our clients who are coming from the mainland who have experience renovating there, they're always shocked, one, at the materials where we are or are not able to get here easily, hardwood for being one of them, and then two, just like the labor costs and how much it does cost, and then of course shipping everything over, right? So you want to buy a tile, but then you have to add like 20% on to that for all the shipping costs to just get it to Hawaii.
Yeah, I've heard of friends that have like ordered everything into and then had it all shipped over at once, which is really interesting logistic wise.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have people who do that. I don't like to do that because if there are any damages, that tile is sitting there for months waiting for all the other things. So we tend to have a more active shipping system where it's like once it lands there, maybe it sits for a couple weeks and then comes over. The only thing that we kind of maybe wait on is furniture, but then again, we need to get it over here because if anything is damaged, we need to be able to assess that. So it's different for sure. Our procurement team is a whole beast in itself just to bring those things over.
I mean, it makes sense. And it's one of those living, I was California, then Georgia, in Florida, like I said, I've never really had to think about, we're the continental United States. Everything ships to the 48. We do
Yeah.
import stuff from time to time, but no, that is definitely a lot harder. But I want to jump back to your event planning because I
Yes.
think along the topic, of this podcast, event planning and interiors are pretty much the same beast when it comes to surroundings and project management and hiring trades. So I would say like when you did events versus like now when you're doing interiors, what are some of the similarities and like your choices?
So when I was event producing, I wasn't necessarily the creative. I
Okay.
think that my ideas, I'd come up with good solutions for situations, but I wasn't the one who was ideating the concept of the event, right? Like usually that was the client. This is New York Fashion Week. This is what the look is going to be. That was led by the designer. Or it's like we're launching this brand. This is the brand guidelines and this is the vibe. So we kind of were always given the creative materials as an event producer. I think in terms of similarities, it's really heavy on the project management. So that almost feels exactly the same to me, where it's like we have this idea, how do we execute it? So everything from kind of purchasing on aligns really well. I think the major differences are that obviously doing a home is permanent, so the pressure is extreme. I think with events, there's a lot of pressure because you have this one moment in time and it passes. Like if you're doing a wedding, for example, it's like you only have one chance to get it right and then the moment is gone. You can never revisit it again. So there's something unforgiving about events. But at the same time, like, especially when you're doing a corporate event, no one knows that like that timing was off or that this person was supposed to show up and they didn't or that the tablecloth is like, people don't, it's different. Where I feel like a home, they're living in it for years. They're using it for years. And so you want it to be perfect long term. So like, yeah, you can go back and fix it and be like, okay, in the end, that rug wasn't exactly what we wanted. So like, let's swap it out. But the pressure to get it right, especially again, like these clients who are my friends, the pressure to get it right is so extreme. And also to be the lead, right? Like I'm the designer. So ultimately everyone's looking at me to being like, is this right? And you're like, design is flexible. Like there are some rules, but most of the time it's like subjective. So it's like, okay, and just being confident in making those decisions for your clients and looking them in the eye and being like, this is the direction to go. This is the paint color. So there are differences, but like logistically similar.
Okay, so then who is higher stress, a event or like an event client or a interior design client?
Oh, I think like they're
I think
both.
it's a trick question. I think
It is
it's
a trick
very, I
question.
mean, you have bridezillas or you have very chill things, but you're
Yeah.
right. The event is kind of a one and done where the home, like, you don't want them walking past, that piece of art, hating it every day for the next 5 years.
Yeah, for sure. Like I've had to come in and redo homes that other designers have done and clients have told me like I've hated this from the beginning and I'm like, "Why didn't you say anything to your designer?" And so then that's my biggest fear, right? Is like please tell me if you hate something or if like don't let me talk you into anything. Like this is your home. When I'm done, I leave and I go into my own home. I want you to be obsessed with every single corner and decision that we make. Just really encouraging that is important to me with clients because I think we're all people pleasers. And clients can be people pleasers too, where they're just like, they don't know because they're hiring a designer because they don't trust their own ability to design, right? And so they are leaning on us, but I think it's also a balance of being respectful and saying like, what do you really want here? So yeah, both are high stress. I think for me, the stress for design comes with timelines. Like if I have no
Yeah.
timeline and we can install whenever and construction can go on forever, then like there's no stress. But when you're working towards someone coming home, someone moving in, the stress there, because we can't control everyone, right? Like I can only control what I can control, but everyone else is like, I feel like I'm just like pushing and like negotiating and being like, go, 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 and trying to balance it all. I think that's where the stress comes for design.
I think you're right. I think it is that the timeline stuff is hard. So much being out of our control.
Yeah.
Where it is the wallpaper guy sends a message like, "Hey, I'm actually a couple days behind at midnight the night before he's supposed to start." But then
Right.
everybody else gets messed up and then
Yeah.
you're pushed to the end. And as you said, you guys have a lack of trades and you don't have an abundance of trades per
No.
se. So you are waiting on that skilled electrician or
Yeah.
the really good cleaners.
That's the problem too, I think, is like we don't have a lot of work rooms. Like we don't have a good like drapery. Like we do have drapery work rooms, but they're not the same as the mainland. And like the cost is so high. So to get like a Roman shade installed here is really just for like the high end clients, because everyone else, like it's so difficult because it's so expensive, right? You have to order the fabric and then the labor is a lot. So yeah, we're constantly juggling and dealing with different things, but I also think my type A, like I'm grateful that I'm more type A. Like I really didn't identify as a creative until maybe last year. Like I just thought to myself as like more of a type A personality who could find good solutions to problems, right? Because like design to me is just like one big problem that you're constantly trying to solve. It's like I need to sleep this many people. I like care about this kind of fabric. This is the energy I want to create. And so you're just like problem solving that through. To me, like I always saw a creative person as like someone who could actually paint, who could actually draw, who could actually like make something with their hands out of thin air. Like to me, that's what a creative is. And I just started to realize like, oh, the fact that I can like visualize and like understand color and like see that something feels off and like know how to fix it, that is creative. But that took me literally so much time being in this business to like even consider myself creative. I honestly identify more as like a type A personality, which I think is what makes me a good business owner, because I'm so like into the details, right? Like it's like very, and I think that's also what makes me a good designer is I'm like, that color on that shelf, like that book is the wrong, like I can just see it. But I know other designers who are true creatives, like my mother, for example, she struggles so hard running the business because she's such a creative mind that she just can't like sit down and do accounting. Where like I did my own books for years because I just like love that part of it.
Okay, so is your mom an interior designer?
Yeah. So my mom's an interior designer. She actually went to school for interior design while I was in school, going to school for PR. And so she graduated with her degree when I graduated from college. And she started a home staging business. And then when I moved home, she was like, I want to focus more on interior design. And then I took over her home staging business. And that's how I got into it. And then I was doing staging and events. And she said to me, like, you should really be a designer. Like, you're good at this. You should be a designer. And I was like, I don't know. You make it look awful. Like, I couldn't understand the appeal. And she, like, actually gave me my first client and was like, I think you should try these. Like, she's like, take this client. It's too small for me. I'll mentor you through it. She did not mentor me because I was just like, I got this. Like, once I understood what it was, I was like, oh, this is just like producing an event. Like, I have all these skills. And so then that's kind of like when Studio Shaolin was born. It was very, like, organic and not thought through.
But the fact that your mom did this as like a phase two or, phase three, whatever it was, life choice, you did it as a second career, but you took your PR, you've taken your events, you've taken all of this with you. You have the type A personality, which I do not. My team knows I am the big ideas person. I am that it's all going to work out. They're like,
Yeah.
no, the refrigerator door won't open because it needs
Right.
another half of an inch. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we're great. Everything will
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah. They're like,
But
legit, it cannot work. And you're like, it's fine.
I see the glass half full. I
Yeah.
am very decisive, but type A is not how anyone has ever described me. But we have people on the team that are, and there's people that know that is not how I operate. But I think for you, having all the background, but also that type A personality, and finally realizing you can be creative too, and you can be labeled as a creative is a really cool life transformation.
I think so. I think that's why, it's my team will attest to this. Like every time we do an install, I'm like, oh my God, it's like a designer did this. Like I'm, I'm just as surprised, truly still to this day. Like I'm like, oh my God, guys, this looks really good. Like who did this? This is crazy. We were installing a rug the other day, like the whole living room had come in and we were waiting for this rug because it was a custom. And the client was there and we unrolled this rug and the blues and the pinks in the rug matched perfectly to the blues in the sofa and the pink in the chair. And she said, oh my God, it matches perfectly. And I was like, it's almost like a designer picked this out. To my own surprise, I think it's so funny because I forget all the things we do when we're designing, like how psycho I am about that, like what are the tones and like making sure it all flows. And then there's just so many decisions we make where I'm just like, I hope this works out. I hope this looks good. I hope this turns out how I have it in my head. But yeah, it's been really interesting. And that's why I find social media so fascinating because I really believe like no one gives a shit what we're doing ever. Like, I'm just like, who cares? Like, there's so many great designers out there who are doing like such incredible work. So when people like love what we do, I'm like, wait, what? Like, what? It just doesn't, it feels so funny to me.
What you said just resonates because I walked through one of our projects last week and I hadn't seen all the light fixtures hung. The wallpaper had just wrapped up. They started tearing up like the RAM board on the floor, and I was like, giddy. I couldn't stop smiling. I'm like, this looks freaking awesome. Like, I can't believe,
Yeah.
because we picked this stuff, what, 9 months prior?
Right.
And to see it in place, and yes, sometimes we're like, oh, we hope this works as well as we think. But I think because we've been doing it for a while, we just have that sense of it's gonna work. We're fine, but it is super fun to be like, I picked that. This looks good.
Yeah. You're just like, oh my God, this is why I get paid to do what I do. Like, I think, because sometimes, right, for me, again, in the beginning, I was like, I can't believe people are going to pay me to do this. Like, everyone can do this. It felt like, but then I started realizing like, oh no, people can't. And I think what's really fun is when you have those moments with clients where they're just like, are you sure about this? And you're like, yep, we're doing that. Like, let's do it in the pink velvet. And they're like, okay. And then it shows up and they're like, oh my God, it's literally my favorite, and that's just like such a good feeling. Cause I feel like now as we continue on too, we are taking more bold choices and like kind of pushing ourselves a little bit more to be more in that kind of eclectic space because that's my natural, like I love a clean modern vibe, but my natural feeling is like color, texture, pattern, like more, like I just kind of love all of it. And so it's been fun to like lean into that, have clients trust us, and then it turn out good.
Well, you posted on Instagram this blue kitchen you were working on.
Yes.
And
We've done 2 blue kitchens recently.
it had, I believe, like paneled appliances.
Yeah.
Yes, the waterfall edge and
Yes.
everything. But that, I feel like if you just presented to a client, you're like, we are going to do a blue kitchen and it's going to be awesome. And they're like, hey, they're like, but you've proven yourself. Like, you've proven yourself on the internet. You've proven yourself in your past projects. So if they hired you, they know it's going to be awesome. They just need to make sure it's like their level of awesome.
Yeah.
But colors, talk to me about colors, because I think being in Hawaii automatically gives you a little more freedom of color. And I
Oh,
think
you
Florida
think?
does
Yeah,
too.
Florida is like insane with color and textures.
Yeah.
Like that Lily Pulitzer vibe that I see in Florida, just like bright, and that is like so Florida to me. But like I'm seeing your background and it's like, to me, this doesn't read as much Florida as normal.
So it's a big state.
Yeah, it's a
I
big,
don't think I own anything Lily,
yeah,
but it is still that same. We have most of our clients are waterfront, like
yeah,
lakes or
yeah,
oceans, which automatically brings in the blues.
yeah,
Most have a ton of greenery in the yard. But when we think of, a Hawaiian resort, you also think
yes,
of the pinks and the
yes,
oranges, some of those
right.
colors that might be a little bold for the mainland.
True, true. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I don't know, color. It's so interesting to me because, like, I really believe that, like, pink is a neutral. Like,
Yeah.
I think all pastels in general are like neutrals to me. Like, I'm like, they're so muted that it's basically a neutral. Sometimes do really saturated colors. Like, we just did a beautifully saturated kids room and he's obsessed, and it was like a lime wash and I loved it. When people come here, they want the vacation vibe to be throughout their home. So like
Okay.
oftentimes the vacation vibe to me is like light, airy, beautiful, simple, like not a lot of, right? It's like you can have the kind of moments throughout the home that feel significant, but it kind of all flows together. But we're doing this one condo right now, and it's kind of like a New York City apartment. It's only a 2 bedroom, but we've done the most in this condo, and like it is turning out like every wall has something like on it that's amazing. The kitchen is like this a dusty pink cab with all these different kind of hardware. We have a floral sofa. Like it just feels like this client has done the most, but she's based in California and she's an artist. So she is going to let us be free, right? Most people who hire us, they're not coming from an art creative background. So it's like they're also like more cautious, right? Like they're like, "Oh, I want like everyone to come in my home and love it. I just want it to feel good to everyone." Which is good too. I like that. And that's I think what we do well is like create vibes, but yeah, Hawaii color, I don't know. You'll see in ours, I feel like I'm more drawn to like either a deep saturated color or like a pastel. Do
Well,
it.
what I've realized is you have people that are okay with high contrast, but there's not a lot of people that love high contrast. There's a lot of people that love that medium contrast or the low contrast, which can be colorful still, but it's not like orange versus white,
No.
navy versus yellow or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But I'd be curious. We get a lot of people that want their spaces to feel like a hotel. And I think,
That's interesting.
but think about a hotel.
Yeah.
So, because people are bringing in a suitcase, which I think would be similar to your vacation vibes, where everything has a place, things are put away, it's the clean counters. So, more of like that feeling as
Yeah.
opposed to being overdone.
Yes. The only thing I don't love about hotels and when people say they want their place to look like a hotel is that they're so impersonal. Like
Yes.
hotels are just for everyone. I haven't had a client tell me they want a hotel. I don't know if we're the hotel type of designers because I want every project we do, I rarely repeat materials because I want the challenge of doing something totally new and original. So I have had clients say like, "Oh my god, I love this one hotel. Can I copy it?" And I'm like, "Not really. I want to kind of start from who you are and build off of that. And if that's an inspiration, then cool. But like, I'm not going to just go straight up copy a hotel for you," which we do have clients ask us to do that. But I'm just not interested in like copying other people. Of course, we pull inspiration. Like I think the kitchen that we're talking about with the marble, like to me, that felt very similar to the Athena Calderon kitchen that she had done, which I loved. I think was an inspiration for us, but I'm never going to be like, we're just going to take all of this and copy it because I don't feel like it. The reason then it's like, where's your why? Like, why did we choose this? I think you always have to know why you're choosing things and like why you're designing the way you're designing so that you can make these decisions as well. So when you're copying something, it's like, why? Which is it's so interesting to me when people do a kitchen and they try to copy another kitchen. And I'm like, it doesn't resonate because you don't know the why. You don't know why we put the pantry like that. You don't know why we designed it this way or why we chose that backsplash or like you don't know those reasons. And so when you just try to replicate it for your own home, it just doesn't land, I feel like. So yeah, that's something design has taught me for sure. It's like you've got to know why you're doing these things and like why you're choosing things.
Well, I think it goes back to lifestyle, but you also did a post at some point that was about collections and, like kind of clients having
Yes.
collections of whatever it is. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like, if you can layer things that you love or, have collected art or stuff on a coffee table or whatever it is, I think that's what takes it from a hotel, a rental, a vacation property to an actual home.
Yes, for sure. A lot of our clients have these beautiful, eclectic pieces. Like we have one client, he's Filipino and he has all sorts of wooden carvings. We were just designing a bookshelf for him, all from what they had. She loves to knit and we had all these knitted pieces that friends had made her. It felt so good that every single piece on that bookshelf was theirs. It was their books, their records, their things versus like us bringing in things to style with. Of course, I don't mind doing that because some people are just like, no, I straight up don't have a book collection to choose from. Like, you just have to style. Like, I don't have objects. But the clients who do have these kind of like rich, vintage plates or things like that, it's like, yeah, let's definitely make a moment for these and not just like hide them in the cupboard and like help you to celebrate what you love in your home. Because isn't that like what a home is about? Is like celebrating the things that you love and that make you feel safe and make you feel rejuvenated. Like, that's, I feel like, our whole goal and our whole job is to do that.
Okay, so what do you love?
Okay, so I am a serial declutterer. So I think it's hard for me to collect things. My junior designer, Hannah, loves to collect little, she calls them tchotchkes. I'm not like that. I feel like I'm pretty minimalist. I'm constantly cleaning out my closet. I'm constantly cleaning out my kids' stuff. So I don't love to collect. There's nothing I can think of that I love to collect necessarily. I'm pretty good at getting the things I need and then releasing whatever no longer serves me. But I think for me, my spaces have to be durable because I have twin children. My husband is like kind of a farmer handyman guy, like constructor vibe. So he's like always dirty. Like, I make a joke with him. I'm like, you shower and you're still dirty. Like, I've never met anyone who's just like constantly dirty. And then our dogs, we live like in the country, so everyone's always bringing mud in. I mean, I feel like it's such a good testament to like what I tell my clients all the time in terms of durability, performance. So if I had my own home, I think it would be very different than with the people I'm living with. But yeah, I don't really collect anything per se, but I do love a mix of vibes and just like whatever speaks to me in the moment, I do. I'm not
I
as like precious with my own space. Like, when we were designing our home, I picked my tile without even seeing a sample. Like, I just kind of was like, whatever, which is really strange because I didn't put so much thought and care into it as I would for other people's homes.
Which that's not normal. Most designers, myself included, almost get this like decision paralysis because it's our home. It needs to be perfect. It needs to be the showstopper. Like, we're renovating a few spaces right now, or we're going to start this summer, but we're designing it now, and it's literally like there's 50 tiles I want to use in my bathroom because I love them so
Yeah,
much. So
yeah.
there's been this bin
Yes,
for the
yes.
past 5 years of what I want to use. But I would also agree. I think the phase of life you're in with young children and dogs and, kind
Yeah.
of a
It's
very
impossible.
handy husband. But it's great to show people like the realities of that.
Well, it's so funny
Also,
because
like,
yeah, HGTV reached out to me and they're like, "We're doing a series and we'd love to walk through your home." And I was like, "My home is not going to be ready for the next 10 years. So like, just don't even, just take me off your list." Like, that's just not even like my Shay keeps asking me, my PR team keeps asking me like, "When can we shoot your home?" And I was like, "By the time my home is ready to be shot, it will be outdated because." Not that I have decision paralysis, but I just don't have time to even make or focus. Like, we have a powder room. I picked this wallpaper that I'm obsessed with. It's grass cloth. We live in the country. It's constantly wet. There's mold all over the grass cloth. I'm like, Shaolin, what are you thinking? So now I have to pick a new wallpaper. But I'm like, I don't even want to put the time and effort into like what this wallpaper would be. Like, I'm just like, so that's my problem. It's like motivation to like put the energy into designing my own home. But it is funny because people come over and I'm always apologizing. Like, I'm like, I'm so sorry, our house isn't done. They're like, this looks amazing though. They're like, this is, whoa. It's still, in their mind, it's still better than like what they normally see. But in my mind, it's like just hodgepodge, like not vibe.
but I think it comes in time. And I think having, what is it? The cobbler's kids have no shoes, like that
Yes,
whole,
yes.
but I think it's true because even we've been wanting to do these bathrooms for years. Like, it's been on my list for years and I just haven't moved for it. And it's not because I haven't wanted to. It's just by the end of the day, I don't want to look at, more plumbing. I don't want to schedule the trades. We rescheduled a wallpaper guy for 4 months to come to my house because I was like, oh, my client needs it more than me. It's that kind
Right.
of pushing everybody first.
Yes.
But the fact that your friends can appreciate what your home looks like, I think is a testament to you.
I mean, I also think the most important thing for me and all my clients is I want you to be able to come in, put your feet on the coffee table, put your feet on the sofa, spill something on the rug. We have a pool, and I feel like it's okay if the kids come in wet, so run to the shower. I'm very rough on my spaces, and I feel like I design the same way. We've designed some spaces that are not human friendly, but that was because the client wanted it to be that way. But usually I love designing spaces that are like, I'm always looking for like the cozy, comfy corner where you could like read a book or have a secret conversation, or the secret nooks that you can hide in when you're feeling like you need some space. Or like, it's so interesting because I've had many clients work with other designers, and they've always said to me like, I've never had a space that I could just chill in my home because the sofa wasn't comfy enough, or the coffee table was too far, or the rug was itchy, or whatever it was. And then when we do their homes, they're like, these are literally my favorite living rooms I've ever had because I can actually like sit and enjoy and entertain in them. So I think like practical is so important to me, right? I don't know. It's just, I think that's where the balance, that's maybe where the difference is like when I think of true designers, I think they're looking more for like oftentimes the aesthetic of a sofa, like, you know, a Kagan sofa, for example, like those are not comfortable. They look beautiful. They're so beautiful. But like, I had a client who had one and they're like, all we do it, like the kids set up and slide down it. But like, no one sits in this sofa. So it's just, for me, it's like I would rather it be comfy than have it be like a designer piece. But maybe I'll evolve out of that.
I think like attracts like. So I think you're right. You do have what you put out in the world, whether it's through social and through your portfolio, people are in that phase with you.
Yes.
But I mean, we all evolve. And I think that's what's really neat about
Thank
people
you.
know what they're getting, but you're also customizing it to them. And that's not a normal designer's kind of thing. They're like, okay, these are the 5 colors I use. These are the 5 sofas I use. This is the floor plan we always use. But you're
Mm.
taking it 10 steps further and really designing it for their lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, we do a ton of custom furniture and custom pieces in a home, which give me so much anxiety and stress me. Like, I was just meeting with 3 different trades over a built-in entertainment console that we're building because that's how many people it's taking to make this one piece. Like, those are expensive pieces that the clients are investing in, and like, there are also things that you can't just fix if it's something's wrong. But yeah, I do think it's like, if you're gonna hire a designer, hire us for like the customization, right? Like, hire us because we sit down with you. I mean, my favorite part is getting to know the client and like seeing the dynamic between the husband and wife, or, you know, the two partners, and like seeing how they work through conflict when one loves something, one doesn't. Like, I love all the dynamics of the human experience of designing, and that's what gets me excited, is like thinking of these really thoughtful things that, you know, make their home feel special to them, and being like, I am listening to you, and you're saying that you want a space where you feel like you can just chill and relax. Like, let me create 5 of those spaces for you. And so then you have choices, you know? I don't know why designers would be hired otherwise, if not to customize a home, because it's like, isn't that what we're here for? Isn't that our specialty, is to make things feel so you, that like you feel the most expressed in your space? Isn't that like the most important? Isn't that our job? Like, that's what, to me, I'm like, I don't want it to feel like me in your home. I want it to feel like you. And I just like channeled you to do the work for you.
Well, I think that is a great spot to kind of end the bulk of the questions on, because you're right.
Yes.
You're designing for them, and you're great at that. So we're going to do a
Thank
few
you.
rapid fire.
Okay. Let's do
Okay,
it.
if you could design a dream project anywhere in the world, where would it be? Please tell me.
She didn't, like, we don't have the infrastructure for her to, like, we don't have an arena that she could perform at. Like, we don't have anything big enough to hold.
We get a bunch of cruise ships or
I
something and
don't
have her like in
know.
the ocean.
But literally, like, I think her style is so eclectic and so wild. I feel like I would have so much fun designing her homes. And I'm just like, I don't know why. I just am like, I know she does I think she does her own homes because she like loves to do it. But I'm like, if she ever bought a property here and like needed someone to do it for her remote, like I would literally die. I think
Okay, we're manifesting that, but also
yes.
tangent. There's an old podcast. They haven't done one in a couple years, The Dark House.
Okay.
It's all about like the histories of like homes that are either, like, haunted or murders happened
Ooh.
in. They're still all on Apple Podcasts, but there's a Taylor Swift one about one of her beachfront houses that you it's worth a listen.
Ooh, okay.
What is your personal go-to, like, home indulgence or just life indulgence?
Skincare. I love spas. So massages, facials, scrubs, steams, jacuzzi. I'm not a big cold plunge girl, but I love a spa day. And Hawaii is
Okay,
great for spas.
what are your favorite spas in Hawaii?
I love the Four Seasons in Ko'olina just because I feel like the vibe is really good. And the Turtle Bay one is really great too because you have this whole room that you can chill and relax in. My actual kind of I love the Scandinave spa in Whistler, Canada. We were just there. It's really no frills. Like they don't have food around, basic, but I just love the outdoor vibe. There's also one, the Moana Surf Rider. And it's like right, you literally like where you chill is like right on the beach. But I have young children, so I'm not in my spa era by any means. I think those are gonna have to come later because I feel like I love to travel. That was always my thing. So I used to travel just to backpack and travel the world. I did 30 countries by 30. I'm gonna be doing 40 countries by 40. So I love to travel. That is like my ultimate indulgence and freedom, my favorite place. But if you're asking me like, where do you want to go to relax? Spa. Like I'm not even a picky. Like I love a Korean spa. Like I'll just do any spa.
Okay, so let me know what country to fly to, and we are gonna go spend a few days in the spa because that sounds
Yes.
fun.
I know. I have a friend who is going to be creating like a wellness retreat. And we keep saying to each other, like, I think we have to go and study different spas to understand. So I feel like that's coming later when my girls are older and I can go on a really deep dive into the spa world and then maybe design a spa. I just love it.
I think that's a tax write-off. Sounds like research.
Exactly. I think it's R&D. So that's why she was like, I think we need to do an R&D. You know, for the Sensei in Lanai, I haven't been, but apparently that's the most amazing spa. It's adults only, which is why I haven't been because I can't bring myself to leave my children. But it is, I'm going to be going sometime this year or next year. I'm forcing myself to leave my children and go with my husband. But that's supposed to be like the most insane spa experience, I think, in Hawaii is Sensei.
Okay, we're gonna put all these in the show notes and maybe
Yes.
tag some of them so people can go.
Yes.
But now I want you to take a moment to tell everybody where they can find you and kind of what you have going on, what you want to share, and definitely tell a little bit more about your online shop.
Yeah, so if you want to work with us, you can go to studioshaolin.com and we have a whole prompt where you can book a call with me. If you want to shop from us, we have wovenbyshaolin.com. If you want to listen to me chit chat with random people, it's Begin with Shaolin. These are, again, all the handles for Instagram at Studio Shaolin, at Woven by Shaolin, at Begin with Shaolin. If you want to follow my personal life because you just think I'm so wild and crazy, Shaolin Low is like my personal Instagram where I really let myself be free to post really like non-curated things at all. The store is heavy on home decor and thoughtful gifts. So I love a good card, I love a good candle, I love a good journal. We also have tons of vases, vase fillers, pillows, like all of those things. That the store is constantly evolving as I evolve because I only buy 3 to 5 of one thing. So once it's gone, it's gone. That'll be an ongoing process. You can follow us at Woven by Shaolin or sign up for our newsletter or just check out our website. We ship all around the world, so really anyone can shop from it.
Well, I highly recommend following you on all those channels. I'm grateful that Shay connected us. So
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Highly Affected by Her Surroundings. For more behind the scenes content and design inspiration, follow us on social media. You can find me, Nicole, at R. Nixon Interiors and the podcast at Highly Affected by Her Surrounding. We'll be sharing updates, sneak peeks, and exclusive offers you won't want to miss. Plus, if you want a recap or more details from today's episode, you can find the show notes at rnixoninteriors.com under the Highly Affected by Her Surroundings tab. Once again, thank you for your support, and I can't wait to connect with you on social.